Hi, everyone. First off, this is the first thing, and it's basically just going to be a rant because I'm just using this as an outlet for everything that's going on in my life. I'm not going to use any real names in this, and just to protect people and to save my ass pretty much and everybody else's. But here goes. Right off the top, I have a mother-in-law that is a narcissist, a father-in-law who is now deceased, been deceased for a couple years. He was a little bit of a narcissist as well. My wife has been diagnosed bipolar just recently, but it's actually been going on for quite a while. Just never really realized it. I just, excuse me. Things are just, they're crazy. In a nutshell, meaning my wife and I, and we have 4 kids, younger kids, ranging from about 6 years old to young teenager, and we always had, well, not always, but we were having some difficulties after my wife's dad died. And basically, my wife's mom was guilting her into coming and staying here to help her out. Well, she would say stuff like, "Oh, never, he never have to pay anything living here," things like that. In true narcissist fashion, it turns out to be not true because she keeps bringing it back on us now. How we don't pay anything. Well, she didn't want us to pay anything. That was to get us here. She tells untruths about us to my wife's 2 brothers and their family. Been married for quite some time. Basically, she has always talked shit about me and my wife, her daughter, and always, as more and more stuff comes out now, because it's not hidden anymore, but more and more stuff comes out now than was previously going on that we knew of and that I knew of. I always suspected it, but her mom would basically control her, persuade her, and try to use her to persuade me with things. And I had a rough time through all of this, and it always seems like whenever we were getting ahead with something, her mom would do something to throw a wrench in the works and make us fail. Me especially. I'm not going to get into too much in this first one here, just because it's I'm just painting the picture now. Excuse my creaking chair. I'm just painting the picture of the whole outlook going on with what's going on now, and then I can get to the latter part, not the latter part, but the earlier things that have happened. But anyway, we wound up moving here, and it's been hell. Oh yeah, on top of this, her mom has a ritualistic OCD extremely badly. Only tried to get help for it once. The therapist or whoever it was at the time, a long time ago, one of the things that bothered her, like cutting, the therapist was trying to get her to hold a cut piece of paper. Her mom never went back. I mean, that's how you deal with things. You know, you have to face your fears with that. It's a mental disorder. You know, I don't know what else to say about it, but it's truly hard, and my wife has been her crutch since she was a kid. Basically, her mom makes her do everything, and if she doesn't get her way, she makes my wife feel like crap. And for this reason, I hate her. I really despise her. I hate everything about her. I hate the fact that nobody on this earth knows that she's like this. Because whenever she talks to anybody or whatever outside the house, she never acts this way to anybody. It's I don't know. It's a really hard time between dealing with that and her putting my wife down so much, and then my wife's issues as well. And nobody knows the stuff that we deal with. Nobody knows. Nobody has a clue. That's the stuff we deal with. I mean, we're being accused of stealing money, which isn't true. I think in a nutshell, I think she was trying to get us in here because her other son, which she would never say no to, or either of her sons she'd never say no to. Him and his wife were suggesting about moving in here to help her out, and she doesn't want that. Why? Because they don't know how she is. It's always the excuse, well, I'm just more comfortable with you. No, it's not I'm more comfortable with you. You're the one that I can actually control. That's what it is. My wife is the one that she can control. It's just a true narcissism thing going on. I mean, I didn't know really what the whole deal was till a little bit ago. I looked up, just a thing in Google. I think it's like someone who thinks they're always right. And it just came to narcissism. And I looked at a list of things. Like out of 10 things, she did 10 of them. I mean, to me, it's like a high scale narcissism going on. It's not like, oh, she could be. No, she is. And I'm rambling. I might not make any sense, but just bear with me. I mean, you don't have to listen. It's just my story. I'm just putting this out here to see, are other people dealing with anything like this? Are other people trapped in anything? Here's what I mean by trapped. I have to get my kids out of here. And every time it's like, when her mom feels threatened, it's like, oh, let's make her, my wife feel like crap. So she makes her feel guilty, and in turn, then if we leave, she's not going to go with us because she has my wife thinking that she's a freaking invalid. Okay, she does have COPD. She is on oxygen. But you know what? When I go to the store, I go to the grocery store. I see people there all the time driving themselves along with their tanks of oxygen, getting in the wheelchair, getting in those little scooter things to go around, doing this all themselves. Okay? She just uses this as an excuse as far as I'm concerned. I'm sure she has some issues breathing because she is diagnosed with COPD and emphysema. I'm sure she has an issue, but I don't think it's nearly as bad as what she claims it to be because, narcissists are just attention whores. And that's what she is. I mean, let's put it this way. My wife's niece, and I guess my niece, Got married a couple weekends ago, which is great. Um, they got the ceremony was about 2.5 to 3 hours away. Her mom was making such a big deal because it's, oh, I can't go because I can't breathe. And at first she said she was going, then she said she wasn't. And my wife told the niece that, oh, we were all going. And, and then my wife's mom was like, no, I can't go. Well, you tell her, because she didn't want to tell her. Because, she can't be the bad guy with anything. That's just the way it is. And I know I'm rambling. This is more therapy for me than anything. If anybody listens to me, I mean, that's great. If you like it, that's great. Hell, even if you like my voice just to fall asleep to, I don't care. It's just something that I need to do right now. But anyway, she made such a big deal out of it. And, it's like, oh, well, we can do this, we can do that, because she can't plug in her portable machine. I'm like, well, I'm sure there's places there you can do it. And we wound up getting a tank that lasts for 11 hours. And, it was fine. But she made such a big deal out of it. It turned out she went. And, she loved it because she was in the wheelchair. People were pushing her. And she was trying to take the center of attention off her granddaughter and put it on her. That's all I saw. Okay, that's all I saw. Everything is like, oh, everything's just like, oh, that's spectacular, everything else. But it's just things like that. It breaks me. And it took forever for me to always build my wife up, because there's absolutely nothing wrong with my wife. She's a stupendous person. My wife looks down on herself so much. Hell, anybody would growing up with that. Her mom would put her down for everything. Oh, you didn't do this right. You didn't do that right. You don't know what you're doing. And it's fucking ridiculous. I hate it. I hate it. I think maybe that when I put all this together, I might do, from years back on up to what's going on, and maybe this will all make better sense. I moved down here to be with my wife, and because my wife wouldn't move, because, her mom and dad would make her feel guilty. That's a whole other story about when I came down here, but it's a whole other story. Her parents are they're fucked in the head. I mean, everybody has their faults. I'm not saying I'm God or anything like that. I, by every means, have my faults, everything. And if somebody says they have no faults, they're fucking lying. Everybody has faults. Everybody. I'm not picking fun on people. I'm not in any way, doing anything. But just trying to get through life like everybody else. I'm trying to get through life. I'm trying to get my family through life. Protecting my family, which I have to do. I want to run away. I do not want her to see my kids anymore. She's fucked them up. My one son has OCD so bad, it's not even funny. It's to the point where he's like a freaking zombie and just walks around. He won't even answer a yes or no question. Because he's afraid he's going to lie. That's one of the things he has. It's crazy and it's frustrating. He just got an operation. He wouldn't even tell us if he was in pain or not. He wouldn't. And even taking medicine for being in pain was another thing. He grew up with that, and he was totally fine until we agreed to come here. And I don't know. I just don't know. Nobody in this family knows the hell that we go through and all the lies we've been told and all the lies that are told about us. And I mean, I honestly just want to get up on, I mean, she's told people that I was a thief. She referred to me as being a thief. I know nothing. I'm always I never say the right things. I'm not to be trusted. This is what she tells people. And I know this for facts because I've heard her say it. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. And, you know, everybody's like, well, why did you do all this? Why did you do all this? Why? You know, I was told by some people, you know, before we got married that, you know, you should run. Just get away because nothing good is going to come of it. Well, you know what? I love my wife. I always have. I love her more with every passing day. My kids came good out of this. My kids. 4 kids with her, and I have 1 kid with another woman from long ago. She's in her 20s. I'm not gonna say ages for everything, but she's in her 20s, and she's getting ready to have her 2nd child, and she is an awesome parent. And she's married to a good guy, and they're awesome parents. You know, they basically have they're gonna have 2.5 kids. The perfect thing. They just bought a house, gonna have their 2nd child. 1 boy, 1, this is going to be a girl. They have a dog. That's the half kid. But, I don't know. I can understand that if, you know, most of the people probably just stop listening to this. I don't even know how I'm going to do this. But, I want to get this out because I'm just reaching out. You know, does anybody else have these issues? Does anybody else do this? Does anybody else go through this? I can't be the only one. I can't be the only one. We can't be the only one. I'm trapped. I don't even talk to her. I don't acknowledge her presence. I don't want to hear her. I don't want to speak to her. I despise her and everything she stands for. Because when I look at her, I just think of all the hate and all the things she's done to myself and my wife more, and just my kids. And hell, she has other grandchildren that one of them she just despises, and it's obvious. I mean, how badly she talks about him. I mean, granted, you know, he is not the best kid, but I mean, he's, you know, going to be 8 years old, 7, 8 years old, and you know what boy is? All boys are buttheads, but you know, but you can tell she hates him. She singles him out whenever he's here. I mean, I can't. Unfortunately, my mom passed when I was about 18, 19 years old, and I could tell you what, I don't think my mom wouldn't go for what's going on. She never would have. But I think, honestly, if my mom would have been around, I think we'd be living right down the street from my mom. And I think my wife, all I can say is my wife's mom is lucky that my mom is not alive. My dad's not the greatest. He's been there for me mostly, but he's not, you know, as loving and stuff as my mom was. But, you know, again, I ain't making her out to be a saint because I'm sure she wasn't. But I was young. I didn't have anything. You know, nothing was going on. I missed a lot of my well, pretty much, damn, I miss my adult life with a mother. And when I sit here and see, some people, it's like, my parents were always encouraging, especially my mom, always encouraged me to do things, always pushed me to do the best that I could be, always made me feel great about myself. And I come into this environment and it's horrible. I can't imagine having to grow up with this. I feel so bad. And every time I build her up, her mom will say one thing and knock her down. My wife's beautiful, okay? Her mom will look at her and make a comment about what she's wearing and make her feel self-conscious and basically feel like shit about herself, just to knock her down. And I don't think my wife's doing it quite as much. She knows what she does, but it still hurts her. I mean, basically, her mom has fucked her up. And it's going to take forever. And even after her mom's dead, it's still going to be fucking her up. Because of the guilt that she has, because of what her mom has done to her. And her mom is afraid of not going to heaven. I swear, if she gets into heaven being like she is, there's no reason anybody shouldn't get there. I mean, there isn't. Anyway, I think I'm gonna cut this. This is just a raw recording. This is not edited at all. I'm just putting this out there. If anybody hears it, that's fine. But at least I know it's there, and it's something off my chest and off my mind. And I can physically say this is the first step to making me better and to help me. I physically see this recorder. I see the sound waves, the sound waves moving as I talk. And this is just good therapy for me. And I love nothing more but than helping people. And I am more than happy to talk to people if they need to be talked to. I'm here for people. I'm here for everybody. Especially, if you're going through something similar, or you're dealing with something similar, let me know. Let me know in comments or whatever. So I guess I'm putting this on YouTube. I don't know. Somewhere. Patreon, maybe. Hell, I don't know. But I'll put it on YouTube, see if they take it down. If they take it down, I'll put it somewhere else. It's not going to be advertised, so because I don't want to link anything to who I am right at the moment. But just to protect people, I'll come up with names of everybody at a later date. It's been fun. I feel a little bit happier right now. But the next one I'll talk about how it all started instead of this nutshell thing. I appreciate listening if you did. I do thank you. Bye for now.